Hello guys and welcome back to something just a little bit different. It's back to basics and it's back to what I actually started this channel off, in case any of you want to know, my regular viewers, of what I started off this channel with. And what it was with was reviewing cars, but not Top Gear style, not Fifth Gear style, not Auto Trader or Car Wow style, Car to Garage style, Dan style. I've been in the garage trade all my life. I'm a mechanic. I've been at it 20 plus years professionally. My dad's ran the garage for 40 plus years professionally. So when I give you my opinion on something, it's my opinion on a mechanical basis. You may like that and totally disagree with us, but my reasons for disliking are based on basically an educated opinion on why I don't like something, or reasons behind that. To most people it may just seem picky, all the rest of it. I am fair and I'm honest, and if you don't like anything I've got to say, leave a comment below. I'm more than happy, as long as you keep it professional and polite, I'm more than happy to, well, have a discussion with you. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, so this is a review of an MG HS. I'm actually, looks, I get mixed up with letters. It's very controversial, a lot of hate and a lot of love for these cars. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion, but I will just try to keep it as mutual as possible and just give you an overall of the car. If you're wanting us to see driving this car, I won't. I haven't got time. I'm currently at work. I'm sure it'll just drive like a new car, but I'll give you some specs, some facts, some figures, and just a general look around. And what I'm trying to say is, you can get a look around at a showroom of one of these cars with the salesman standing over your shoulder. You can get the sales garage to send you a video, but it'll be very much a sales press style of video. And there may be other people out there reviewing this on, like I've mentioned, the bigger channels, Auto Trader, Car Wow, but you've got to remember, these don't do this for free. They are heavily influenced for reasons of money to review a car in a way. Some of them slaughter them, but at the end of the day, they're that much of a big company, they'll get paid regardless of the opinion. I'm just going to give you an honest, real-world opinion. But like I said, I started my channel off doing this. Funny enough, there's a vehicle just here now, one of these, an L200. That's how I started Car to Garage Northeast. I got myself a Series 5 L200. I bought it based on viewing somebody else's video on it, and I thought, why not try that myself? And that's how the channel went on. Anyways, a few facts and figures and a quick walk around the car. This is what we're interested in. But like I've said, anybody who's not used to this and you're purely just watching this for a car review, apologise about the bits and bobs and spiel I'll be giving, but it's just for my regular viewers. But of course, if you are thinking about buying one of these, renting one of these under whatever schemes you can get them through, I know they're quite popular on the disability and the mobility schemes, which I actually believe this car is, I think, don't quote us. I'll just give you a few plus points, negative points. And like I've said, if you're getting this car under a plan of some kind, you probably won't care less what I've got to say about negative points, because it's not your car, you'll just hand it back. But I'm going to speak down the line when these cars become 3, 4, 5 years old and they're on the second-hand market. So, in my opinion, an alright looking car. Not a big fan of small SUVs, I will say. For me, if you want an SUV or a four-wheel drive type of vehicle, in my opinion, you get something like an L200 or big four-wheel drive. If not, personally speaking, I think you're better off with an MPV like that SIAC. But anyhow, I know a lot of people, especially for mobility and stuff, like to have a car that's got a low door line to get in and out of. They're a bit higher up for seeing above like the weed lines and stuff and the grass central verges. So I do fully understand why people are attracted to these. And again, that's my opinion, and I totally respect anybody else's opinion. So we'll get a little bit closer into the front. One thing I am rather impressed with are the quality of these lights. Like I've said, this car's 5-month-old, but it's got the full bi-directional LED, I would imagine, super bright. And obviously you've got all the bits, you know, what Audi are doing, SIAC vision LED lighting system. And there's all sorts of various LEDs in here, which will give them a test out. They're probably going to be indicators or running lights of some kind, and I would imagine it goes up here. And then you've got your bi-directional LED, which will obviously do the corners and up and down, all electronically off sensors on the suspension. And by the looks of it, LED fog lights, which is nice to see, because a lot of companies go to the effort of doing lovely LED headlamps and then stick some halogen little rubbish things in the bottom. Let's just see if they've done that. I don't think they have. I think they're going to be nice LEDs. I do like the grille. I think I'm not a big fan of newer cars. It looks like that there's a Peugeot out which looks very similar to this. totally lost what the numbers are. Not massively into the new PSA cars, I will say. It does look okay, I will say. Got parking sensors hidden around all over the place. Nice to see that. Just picking little things, because this car's totally new to me. It's just a guy who's come in, he says feel free to do a bit of a recording, a review, or whatever you want on it. As you can see, it's practically brand new, the car, you know. Yeah, it's nice to see. I'm just picking up little things. Bridgestone tyres. The fact they come brand new with a Bridgestone tyre, nice to see. I know that most of them come with OE stuff. Pretty much standard McPherson strut front suspension in a standard bottom wishbone arm as far as I can see. Just trying to look through there. Yeah, just a standard McPherson strut. Trying to see if there's any branding on the calipers. The wheels typically in the wrong place. I'm just trying to pick up to see if there's any good branding on these cars. Up to now, the tyres, there's one. Mirrors, spotted all the cameras on here, so it must have like a surround camera system. Looks to me there as if that was planned. It's like a bit like a Tesla style. I do like these little bits of detail in them. But that reminds me of the Teslas where they have a camera here. Maybe this is for a higher spec model. This is the Trophy. I'm getting me facts and figures. The MGHS Trophy Auto. I will go into more specs on the engine and stuff shortly. So yeah, so it's a camera there. Would have made probably more sense to have one there as well. Maybe that's for the version without the mirrors, where you can have the camera versions. Not a big fan of that at all. Much prefer mirror. Nice big mirrors, I will say. I do like that. Moving down, like a kind of a carbon fibre finished plastic. It's alright, it's all you need for this level of the car. Doesn't need to be nothing special. And obviously there's some quite nice lines on it. Is this black plastic or grey? Again, at the bottom of the car, I think it'll be black to match the arch covers. I don't mind that at all, to be honest. It's got some kind of auto locking function. There's a button on there. I've got the key in the car. If I take it out of my pocket, in fact, I can put that in my pocket now. I did have the key. Unfortunately, with all new cars now, it's all this nonsense with contactless keys. I'm not a big fan of it. I still prefer just an ordinary key lock system, but I would imagine you press that. Yeah, obviously since I've got the key in my pocket, electric folding mirrors. And I would imagine when you come up to it, you probably not need to press that. I see. It's the only thing where they're like, you know, I've got a 20-year-old Renault, and that just automatically detects it in your pocket. But with this, you've obviously got to press that to unlock it and open it. So, you know, it could be like the Renaults where that proximity, where when you walk away, the lock, like them Scenics, I've got an 07 plate Laguna and it does this. You walk away and it'll lock, then when you walk up to it, it's totally contactless. You just put your hand in and open it. But with this, obviously in the lock position, if you want to do that, it's locked, you've got to press the button to do it. I just think for a 2024 car, it's a few months old, really that shouldn't be. It should be proximity. But anyways, factory tinted windows. This is a higher spec car, I will say. Have a look in the back, see what there is. Obviously no like heated seats or anything I wouldn't expect, so it's got just single electric windows. See again, 2024 car, USB-A cable. Now I thought this should have had USB-C in a minimum, or some form of high charge rate, you know, backlit fitting. This is just where the little areas, in my opinion, where they trip themselves up a little bit. I think the car's, what did I say? I've got it written down, I think it's 5 months old. Yes, 5 months old. That should be definitely USB-C's in there, not USB-A. That's miles behind. But anyways, maybe I'm being too picky, but it is a nice opening, plenty of space. I do like the stitch seats, very similar to my Laguna GT 07 plate. And I do actually like this stitching on these. Obviously, it is a new enough car to have ISOFIX, clearly. And obviously rear ventilation there. Quite a nice quality feel to those. I am a bit sad for stuff like that. That does actually have a decent quality feel to it, I will say, for a rear seat. And I do quite like the patterns on the doors. Again, you get people going, oh, scratching stuff and everything. It's plastic. I'm not going to go that far, really. And it does have a nice soft feel of leather on the touch areas, and even this is like a soft feel. Quite a nice bit of quality on there. Is it plastic? It does actually feel slightly metal. Again, just it's for a Chinese SIAC Motor Company vehicle. I'm not going to pull it to bits. I'm not keen of this here. This is actually fake. That's fake, by the way. That's not folded over. That's an imprinted stitch. And that there isn't actually a fold. That is solid. Not keen of that. You know, like, it would have been nice for it to be a real stitch like that. To have fake stitches. You know, I'm call us picky, but I'm just picking up things because I'll get the prices and stuff shortly. So that's there anyway. There'll be all sorts of funky stuff on the lights. We'll run through a light test shortly on it. Obviously at the back, one pet hate of mine are fake exhausts. I don't see the point. Either have nothing or have them real. You know, why have... I don't like this, of having these exhaust looking things which are nothing. I don't understand that. I don't like that. It's either don't have them and just carry this pattern on all the way across. Where's the exhaust there? Just a standard little thing. Stainless steel exhaust, I will say. How long it'll stay stainless, I don't know, but it does. In fairness, I will say that definitely does look like a factory fit stainless steel exhaust. So a thumbs up to that. But yeah, I don't like that. For the sake of that exhaust being there, they could have easily just like bent it upwards and had an exit point there. And once again, you might just think it's me being sad, but it's either have a real exhaust or don't bother. Just have it like standard as it is. Anyways, that's that. Camera at the back, reversing camera. I do believe this might go all the way across, like a light bar. Like what the Mercs and everything are doing. And we'll have a look, we'll see what's LED and what's not, but it does look like quite a nice quality light, I will say. Let's have a look on the boot. And we'll find the button. Electronic. Can't fault that. It's obviously a wheelchair in the back, so you have to excuse that. Yeah, so electronic boot. As you can see, it's got a folded up wheelchair with the parcel shelf back. Can't complain at that. Factory fitted LED lights, nice to see. Don't know what's under here, and I don't really want to interrupt things too much, but see if we can get under. I don't know. I doubt there'll be a spare wheel, and maybe if it's an optional extra. Yeah, it's quite nice to do what Toyota do and put the chassis number on all the doors, so it's always a good little clue if a car's had a whack, things don't match up. So yeah, we're getting there with the spec and everything. It's not bad at all. Obviously this will just be the same as what we've already seen. We'll go around to the front, have a look at this I did spot before, yeah, electric seats, not memory, but yeah, passenger electric seats, you know, quality does feel okay. I'm not going to be pathetic about it. Again, the front doors, nice feeling areas, but this fake stitching here, not a fan of that. Again, the same thing continues on the dashboard, you see there. That's not real. It would be nice if this had have been this, which this is real stitching, which is lovely actually, nice touch. And I know these aren't touched areas, however, at least just make it real. Do we really need to be going into fake stitches? Surely there's more effort involved to designing a print to have fake stitches than having real ones. Anyhow, this isn't too bad, but all of this, like, we'll get to that. I'm saving that bit. Again, down here, I've just spotted there, USB is in a 5-month-old car. I don't know. I think that's a little bit behind on things. But yeah, the seats are nice quality. I'm not going to pull them to bits whatsoever. We'll have a walk further around. We'll open the bonnet. We'll do a light test and then we'll sit inside and have a bit chat and see what we think. So, we'll open the bonnet. 2 pulls. Really weird place to have a headlamp adjustment. If you're sitting driving, to be reaching down to the bonnet pull to adjust the headlights. Another little thing, which I mentioned before, these lights will be bi-directional. I find it very, very strange, to the point I'm an MOT tester, is almost illegal how you can have super bright LED lights without them being actively bi-functional. Bi-functional by meaning, this again is, I have an 07 plate Lacuna, keep mentioning that, but it has a lot of similarities to this. That has a sensor on the front left suspension and the rear right, so when the car goes up, down and you turn, the headlamps basically adapt. And this, I'm going to just say this bit, this is one of my pet hates, and I think you all agree, these super bright headlights on cars blinding you, whether they're behind you or coming towards you. Now these are one of the top culprits for doing that, where they don't have the active function. I don't know how this has been passed, because just about all HID and LED lights I see on cars have the sensors on the suspension, but there's a few budget brands where somehow that fit super bright lights, but they bypass them to manual. So naturally this car will be set to 0, which is full high, like a wheelchair in the back, possibly a passenger sitting in the back, and the lights are like this. If it was an automatic one, it will recognise a load in the back, front ends up, and it dips the lights down and keeps them like that. How they can get away with this is questionable, but money talks, and all these big manufacturers get E-approved everything to suit themselves. So anyways, I'll show you that in a second, just how bright these probably are. So we'll open the bonnet. Nice to see actually on struts, and it's a double pull to open it, a bit like the BMs. So what we've got under here, a 1.5 turbo GDI. Not my favourite direct injection petrols. They're bad news. Loads of oil dilution. Your intake valves on a standard petrol, where basically you've got your intake valves, you've got your injectors, and the spray petrol continuously, and basically they'll stay looking brand new just like that forever. Direct injection petrols are like diesels. They go in, meaning the intake valves never get washed off, the carbon up, and they cause problems down the line. And this will have a GPF. Basically, you'll have heard of a DPF. This is a gasoline particle filter. So yes, it's got a DPF, the equivalent of, but it's for a petrol. And it more than definitely will, I can't actually see fully down there, more than definitely will have a particle filter on the exhaust. So yes, guys, in case you're not aware, if you're buying these cars under lease plans and that, you won't care. But if you're buying one of these for your own good, yes, everybody now says, oh, if you're doing short journeys, don't buy a diesel, you'll have to do regens, your DPF will block up. Petrols do that now, and I haven't done one yet, but the regens on petrols are very, very scary, to the point of the higher revving, and they're very much more hotter running than a diesel, and the exhausts glow red when you're doing a stationary one, which I will not be getting involved with. So I just thought I would let you know, direct injection petrols, unfortunately now, if you're buying a new car, it's not an option, it's just there. But yeah, you'll have a particle filter on the exhaust like a diesel. With them being direct injection, in years to come, you could have problems with intake valves carboning up. You'll have heard of like walnut blasting. And the other thing with them as well is, like a diesel, you'll have oil dilution, where basically you get bore wash. There's loads of petrol gets put in on failed regens, and it basically it makes your oil level rise, fills your oil with petrol, which isn't good. It knacks the seals up, can knock the whole engine. So yeah, that's just unfortunately any new car. This is not a dig at MG. This is anything now you buy with a modern petrol engine. So once again, don't be convinced by the government saying, go get rid of your diesels, buy petrols. Believe you me. And some of these direct injection turbocharged small petrol engines in large cars are way, way more thirstier than any diesel out there. So yeah, we have all got to protect the environment, but you've got to remember, especially the working class, we haven't got money trees, have we? Money doesn't go on trees to be keep putting in at the pump. Anyways, onto the engine. No badging, which is rather strange. You'd think they'd have a nice big MG badge on there. Anyways, it's the 1.5 4-cylinder, but I think I'll have to double check on that, because I haven't actually worked on one of these yet. And it's 170 brake horsepower. So 170 brake horsepower of a little 1.5 in a car Qashqai size, maybe bigger. Again, when they're brand new, lovely. However, in years to come, who knows? I might just pull that cover and we'll have a quick look. Yes, it is a 4-cylinder, which is nice to see. Nice and simple engine. Obviously, you can see it's qualified. Qualified to be an engine. And it doesn't look terrible. I'm seeing some good branding. Bosch. Marl. In case you don't know what these are now, these are what you call charge coolers. If anybody has heard of an intercooler, where you have like it looks like a radiator on the front, which obviously cools the air, more dense air, works better with a turbocharger. Now we've done away with these on most new cars. They're what you call charge coolers. Hence, you've got two coolant tanks. So obviously that one's for your charge cooler, the smaller one, that's the bigger one. So basically the air is cooled by water. It's a much more efficient way of doing it. However, when they go wrong, you start getting water into the intake, and big problems, because when the coolant goes into the cylinders, it crystallises and it takes away all the honeycomb off the bores and wrecks your engine basically. So yeah, once again, good and bad. But again, I'm liking to see a lot of the Bosch components. So definitely I wouldn't say poor quality or thrown together. Varta battery. What's the ECU? Bosch ECU. ABS pump, can't see the module because it's at the back. Let's have a little spy around. What's this MAF sensor? See, that's made in China, you see. I don't know if you can just see that there. China. All these parts where they're not marked as Bosch and stuff will be very difficult to get a hold of. What's that there? You see SIAC. That's no brand on the... That just looks like to be like a throttle body of some kind. So that'll probably be a nightmare to get. So all these bits... It still says made in China, but that Bosch, they'll be easy to get a hold of. Yeah. Most of this is the EVAP system, which seems to be Bosch. And just having a look around to spy anything else. Just got to pop that on. Well, I think on. There we go. That's actually a soft, like, big bit of sponge. That'll be to do with crash protection. So if somebody hits the bonnet, that's all they're going to hit. But yeah, that's as much as I can see on the bonnet. But what I will say with these part supply, this is the newer model, the HS. I think there's an older model to this. I'm not massive on these guys, I'm just giving you my honest opinion of it. A lot of those now, which are coming up 5-year-old, some of them 6, I think, in the rear discs and pads, you still can't get them from like your main suppliers, like, you know, Euro Car Parts, GSF, dealer only, £300 and £400, crazy money. So the only thing I'll say when you're going with MG, don't think it's MG Rover like what used to be around. It's the SIAC company. So unfortunately, you will have problems for parts. Again, if your car's under warranty, again, if you've got it under a plan, you won't care. I'm doing this video to people that watch in the future. Weirdly now, like when I had my L200 when it was brand new, I've still got people asking us questions as if they were under warranty. So this video is to go out for the future, not really for right now. This is more of a walk around review. So yeah, so the parts can be very, very expensive and very difficult to get and long waiting times. So just bear that one in mind when you're buying them. It's like any other oddball brand. I know they're fast up and coming and they're becoming more popular, but just be careful. Just be really careful on it. So yeah, I just spotted something else down here. So that is the other camera there. So it's got the 360 degree, but this here, your radar. I think it's a radar. In fact, it looks blank behind it. This might not have the spec for the radar cruise, but that would be super expensive, I could imagine. So anyways, we'll just sit inside and we'll have a little bit of a chat and a little bit of a look through things. So yeah, the driver's seat, again, it's not memory, but it's got some like bolster functions on it. So yeah, so that's all your SIAC Motor Company in Birmingham, Netherlands. So anyways, we'll jump in. I've got my key and we'll have a look. While everything's off, this massive screen, because everything nowadays is how big's the screen in your car. It's what all everybody wants to know. Personally, I'll say it from the bat, I don't like it. But that's something I don't like even more. And I have to be honest here. Where's the heating controls, guys? Simple 3 knobs. It's all we need. Where it's blown, temperature, fan speed. Heated seats. No switches. May not have heated seats. But yeah, that headlight adjustment is a bit stupid down there. It really is. Little cubby hole there. So, sat in the car. What I hate about all these screens and everything is look at the state of them with the handprints when you have to touch them all the time. Bearing in mind, all the heating controls and everything are all in there. And don't get us wrong, yes, you might say there's manual buttons, but that is not enough. Like on and off and screen where it'll just blow on full pelt in the rear domesta. It's not good in my opinion. I just think the space down here, totally waste space. Like I said, we're outdated. USB is, that should have been some form of a heating control. There, we are heated seats and everything. And this again isn't aimed at MG, it's aimed at all this new nonsense about that. So that's that anyway. On here, is this a mobile phone charging port? It looks like one. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it is. Because it's got that like unit underneath. So nice that comes off so you can actually clean it. So yeah, you've got a bit of an armrest there, quite firm, I will say. But at least it's the real, not real leather, but you know what I mean, the real stitching, none of that fake. Gear lever, it's of the norm. Don't know nothing about the gearbox, probably a dual clutch system, possibly. I don't know, I'm not going to comment too much. We've got the hill descent, auto hold, electronic handbrake, park, So yeah, just basically the norm there. On the steering wheel, the same kind of controls. Not seeing anything for cruise control yet. Oh, I do like this. This is a nice little nod to, you'll all remember that, the British Leyland. Maestros, all of the BL vehicles, Rovers. Can you remember like an old freight Rover van? That's how you used to turn on your lights. I like that. I actually do like that. I'm not going to lie. That's a nice little nod to the original Rover side of things. Yeah, so that's that. Your wipers, they're kind of the same thing. I remember those. They were like that. Cruise control and stuff, though. Maybe that's something here. I think that'll probably have to do with it, with that radar thing I was on the front. We'll have a look. We'll switch it on. So anyways, let's fire it up. Foot on the brake. Switch the computer on. And here we go. All sorts happening. Plus the seat is bringing us right in. Like I've said, folding mirrors, kind of a given on most new cars. Don't know what that is. Maybe some kind of a motion sensor for the driver to check that you're looking at the road. Don't know what that is. I'll have to look that one up. So anyways, great big screen in front of you with a map and a little speedo. For me, I'd rather just have a big speedo with dials. Don't get us wrong, there may be some option on here to change it. It's okay, just not for me, all these screens and everything. Like looking here, like, you know, we've got these for fog lights hidden in this top corner next to a radio station. So where's the first thing you're looking for your fog lights? I know that's probably a separate switch. Don't tell us that isn't. No, that isn't. No. So to put your... Hold on here, right. So, got my lights on. We're driving along. Okay? On a motorway, 70 mile an hour. Visibility drops quite quickly. Where's the fog lights? Where would you expect to find the fog lights? Down here? Nope. Would they be on the stalk where you would expect to find them? Nope. So now you're getting distracted doing 70. You might have slowed to 60. Visibility is turned very poor. Heavy downpour. Where's your fog lights? Of course, it's in here. So you've got the... You're telling me... Absolutely no offence to the older generation here. My mother and my father would not have a clue that those two little white buttons were a switch for the fog lights, which don't come any more or less obvious, you know, when the lights are on or off. So that's that anyway. What's all this? Like I've said, so now we've got a steering wheel function. Pressing it. Not sure what's happening. So I'm not really sure how you even get into any of the... I don't want to press too much on here because obviously it's not my car. So we're into here there. So this must have been for driving. So you've got your steering, sport, tone mode. Tone mode? When tone mode is enabled, lane departure and all the rest of it, power distance will be disabled. We'll just leave that off anyway. But yeah, stop start you can switch off, but no doubt that'll return when you restart. So it has got the blind spot monitoring. Nice, that is a good thing. Lane departure. It will have cruise control. But how you MG pilot, speed recognition, over speed. So I thought that would just be the simple, straightforward button for cruise. I think I've just caught that with me arm. I have, yeah. So yeah, it's all very, very confusing. Like up and down and pressing. Oh, radio on. Hold on. Let's turn that down. Now, you see, I had to pause that while recording. Now, if that had happened while driving... So, the radio came on, obviously, for copyright reasons. I was looking for the control to turn it off or turn it down. None. Nowhere. You've got to use this. This is the only volume control. I can't have that on too long. No symbol on there to tell you that up and down on there has got anything to do with the volume. That to me could just be to control this or control that menu. This is what I'm saying with this, guys. I'm not trying to pick faults. I'm not trying to go over the top. But very, very, very distracting when driving. You know, it's so... I'm sitting here now too hot. Right, let's just try and get the fan so they're on. So it's on. Nothing on here to tell us what's on, where's it blowing, what's the temperature. Off. Turns it on and off. So now we've got to try and work out what we'll do with this. So bear in mind this is when you're driving as well. So let's have a look. Home. There. Into here. Aircon on. Temperature. Bear in mind when you're driving, hands on the wheel, having to try and look on a screen. Let's see, I've just caught that. So now we're into a whole new, very complicated menu for the heating. Off. Oh, there's the heated seats, you see. So when we're home here, what the heated seats on? Where would that even be again? So back into here. There. Heated seat on. What's this? 360. There. See, that's all the cameras. That's alright. I think that's fine. We've got a good view around. We've got the sat nav. We've got the car control. It's okay to use. It's quick enough. I just think some buttons here for the heated seats. There definitely needs to be a button for the radio, unless I'm missing something here. That is no good. And as for like cruise control and everything, I don't know. That doesn't seem to be anything. Should be. There definitely will be. I just can't seem to get... Everything happens on here. I can't seem to get nothing to happen on there. Unless I'm not pressing the right... Is it because I haven't got my seatbelt on or something? I don't know. Let's put the seatbelt on. Right, so that's took that light off. So now will it let us have cruise control and functions for it? Speed limiter? No. Keep controlling stuff on here, so I'm not quite sure what you're meant to use. Because when I pressed that before, that just does the volume. Side to side. Probably changes the radio, phone, menus. But here, this thing when you're pressing the steering wheel button, nothing seems to be happening. I'll go and shut the bonnet. Right, now the bonnet's shut, we're getting a thing to start driving. That's fine. So, no, I thought that pressing that side to side, up and down, nothing. I don't know. Could be something simple, but I would have just thought to get cruise control on would have been a lot easier. And speed limit, you know, important stuff when you're driving. Anyways, a little look around the cabin. The mirror's nice, I like that. It's like the Audi effect, the one without the corners on. However, it's just manual, so they've gone to the effort of making the nice, what do they call that, edgeless mirror, but it's not automatic dip dim, which again is strange. These look to be like LEDs, are they here? That's quite a nice quality light. I'll give them the due for that. An SOS button here. Yeah. Anyways, onto a few facts and figures. Like I mentioned, 1.5 petrol, GDI, 170 brake. Not a bad towing capacity, 1500 kilo for a car this size. That's fine. Would have been a much newer car, £190 tax, no free stuff no more. And I've just been doing a quick look on pricing. So a one with 2,000 miles on, again, quick test. Miles. How do you get the mileage? How many miles has this got on? Let's switch it off, see if it comes up without starting it. Let's have a look. Nope. Simple task involved for doing MOT on a car to get the mileage. Pressing buttons, menus. I don't know why nothing's happening on this steering wheel. I could be doing something ridiculously not right, but it's in park. The handbrake's on. I honestly don't know. But anyways, I would like to tell you how many miles this has got on, but for some reason it won't let us. Surely it's not through in there. Convenient cluster. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it back where it was. But yeah, I would like to even just tell you the speed, the miles. Anyways, this was for evaluation. So there's a 2025 plate, a little bit newer than this. with 2,000 mile on for 29,000. Now, if that, I mean, I'm just trying to put it into perspective. A RAV4 brand new, you'd be looking at 45 grand plus for a hybrid RAV4. I'm trying to think of a Qashqai or something. I'm not that big on prices, but they're not massively expensive. £29,000 a lot of money to most people, but for a new car with 2,000 mile on, they are cheaper. I'm not going to deny it. They are making the effort. I think this is a nice car. Well, to be honest, I don't mind most stuff on this car, but if there's one thing I hate, is this digital stuff where there's just no simple buttons to do simple tasks. That would drive me insane. I suppose when you get used to it, it'll not be so bad, but it's a car, it's a vehicle, it's a universal item. You should just be able to get in and drive it. And I genuinely do think of all these touch buttons and hidden menus to access simple things like fog lights and just get a mileage read and get the cruise control on, it should be so much more simpler. I don't get what the benefits are to that. I think the benefits are, with people nowadays, it's just a talking point at the pub. My car's doesn't have a dashboard, it's just one big screen, and all this. It's a lot of it's bragging rights nowadays rather than functionality in a car that actually works. My opinion, guys, don't be offended by that. That's my opinion. You may like that, and I respect that. That's just my opinion. So yeah, 2025 model, 2,000 mile, 29 grand. So this car's probably worth about that. I doubt it's got many miles on. So yeah, that's just a quick review on it. We'll do a quick walk around of the light test on it. I'll just fire it up, put all the lights on, the hidden fog lights, put the indicators on, and we'll have a little look around and just see what level of lights, what level of quality. But actually, I will say they are a nice clear indicator. They are a nice clear indicator as well. I like that, and I believe when I turn them off, they'll go to some form of running light. That isn't flickering really. And yeah, they are a super bright LED light that aren't electronically controlled. So yeah, you will be going up these inclines and be absolutely blinding everybody because the car won't detect it's on an incline to lower the lights. There, nice to see, LED. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen the lights that have been automatically controlled. I still don't get how that can pass the EU legislation, but however, is what it is. Yeah, I like that. None of them stroby horrible things like the Audis have. I just like that, a nice clear long indicator. Thumbs up to that. I like these backlights actually. They're nice, and I don't even too much mind that. It's more visibility. More visibility can only be a good thing on the roads nowadays. More than likely be an LED. Number plate lights in a rather small fog light. It's probably high intensity, but a bit small. It'd be nice to have just filled the whole thing up. And again, fake MOT tester that you only need to have a fog light on the offside rear by law in the UK. But I sometimes think for the sake of a bulb, just put two on. There's no law that you can't have two. Most cars do have two. Just, put a bulb in, or an LED in this case. That is an LED by the look of it. So yeah, we'll just knock the lights down at the front to like running lights only. Knock the hazards off and just see what that looks like when they're just on. It probably won't be flickering now. Yeah, that's a nice looking light. I'll give them the due for that. Headlamp washer moment, you don't get that with LEDs nowadays. But yeah, that's a nice looking light. It is. Like I've said, just a shame it isn't. Oh, and they've got that digital matrix lighting. So I believe, see, they've got on all of this, but just to have it manually controlled, it should be properly controlled. Because I wish I could show you, but it would move quicker than I could. We'll pull it up with that wall up there. I'll show you a test. Let's just jump in. Private land before anybody says anything. Clearly not going to put my seatbelt on. Let's put it into drive. Handbrake off. Right. Let's have a little look. These lights should be bright enough even in broad daylight to show you. Right, park. Lights on, yeah, you can see them there. So if I flick that switch, which I've got to get to the throttle pedal, see them going down? Like that, you see? It's underneath that brick line and up. They should be doing that lights that bright, on even cars going back plus 20 year, have sensors on the suspension that do that. That's how we're all getting blinded on the roads, because car manufacturers are cutting corners and not fitting proper adjustable lights, which is a shame. So anyways, that's that. I just thought I would go through the basics. Right, more than the basics, bit of an in-depth review for anybody thinking about buying or leasing an MG HS. Like I said, this is a trophy. I would like to have given you more information on the gearbox, but I don't know, so I'm not going to even attempt to tell you, because it could be anything. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, guys. For the regular viewers, something a bit different. For a new viewer, just only interested in this car, it'd be massively helpful. I've spent 40 minutes of my time trying to help. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. It would be great to hear from anybody. It all helps the channel keep ticking over. I'll catch you all on the next video. Bye.